My name is Caroline Moore, and I'm the president of the Red Rhino Fund. For those of you who are new to Taft, the mission of the Red Rhino Fund is to create positive change in the local community through the promotion and financial support of education, literacy, and the arts for underprivileged children. The fund was established in 2007 by Taft alum Skylar Sarenbetz to provide students an introduction to philanthropy and not-for-profit trustee administration. Consistent with Taft's motto, not to be served, but to serve, the fund introduces students to the fundamental elements of organized charitable giving in the hope that they will continue to contribute positively to their communities during and after their years at Taft. As trustees, we have developed an investment strategy for our $90,000 endowment from which we provide grants to local organizations in the greater Waterbury community. The 9 of us would not be able to run this board to its full capacity without the help of our dedicated faculty advisors, Mr. Parvis and Mrs. Frew. The fund is led by a 9-student board with elected officers. I'm assisted by Board Secretary Hannah Murphy. And Treasurer Eugenie Greff. The board also has 4 standing committees to facilitate the different events we sponsor and to run the grant selection and recruiting process every year. The marketing committee concentrates its efforts on branding and advertising the board's work and is chaired by Ravina Douglas and Quincy Morgan. The Grants Committee researches prospective grantees by investigating each organization's Form 990 and other pertinent tax data and information. Members of the Grants Committee also coordinate site visits so the entire board is able to see the facilities of the prospective grantee. The co-chairs of the Grants Committee are Nick Morgosia and Emma Bellett. The Special Events Committee is responsible for planning and organizing major events that the board sponsors, such as the annual badminton tournament and spring fling. This committee's co-chairs are John Nugent and Eliza King-Friedman. We also have the Nominating Committee, which is responsible for coordinating the application process for prospective trustees and is led by Emma Bellett. In order to raise funds to support our local partners, we encourage you to participate in our events and donate to us on Parents' Day. I'd also like to thank the Sarenbetz family, Mrs. Hennebree, Ms. Chick, Mr. Clifford, and the Latham family for their years of support in helping us achieve our mission. Now I'd like to introduce Nick, the head of the Grants Committee, to give you a brief report on our grants process this year.
Good morning. Caroline's announcement reminded me of the time when I was myself an applicant to the Red Rhino Fund. It was my sophomore year, and when I showed up for my interview, I remember being asked the most conventional question one can get: why do you want to be part of the fund? And I remember giving an equally conventional and boring answer: I want to make a difference. Apparently, the rest of the board didn't think my answer was that bad, as I was lucky enough to find, a month later, I was invited to become a member. Now that I'm the chairman of the Grants Committee, and I'm fortunate to be spearheading the efforts of allocating funds to nonprofit organizations in the area, I realized that my answer that day to an older board member's question, as generic and boring as it may have sounded, was entirely accurate. Today marks yet another time that the Red Rhino Fund will be making a difference by allocating a total of $5,250 in grants to 3 wonderful nonprofits in the area. Over the past year, our board has worked hard to make this day happen. We have read tens of pages of grant proposals, debated the question of disbursing funds, and talked with many passionate social and nonprofit workers, sharing our vision for Waterbury and a world where every child has access to quality education. Finally, after rigorous discussions in the boardroom, trips to the sites, and Starbucks visits on every single one of those trips, I am happy to introduce this year's Red Rhino Fund grant recipients. Once I introduce your organization, I will ask you to come to the podium, deliver your remarks before proceeding to collect your check from our treasurer. So first of them is Waterbury Symphony Orchestra. The Waterbury Symphony Orchestra is a professional regional symphony orchestra currently celebrating its 79th season. Central to the Waterbury Symphony Orchestra's mission is the belief that music is an essential element in bringing people and communities together through a shared personal experience that touches us, entertains, inspires, heals, and dissolves our differences. Waterbury Symphony Orchestra will be awarded a grant of $2,000, and funds will go towards covering Bravo's intensive and daily instrumental music instruction.
Good morning. I'm actually going to let one of our students talk about her experience in the program, and then I will follow her up with my own remarks.
Hi, my name is Imani Johnson. I am a Bravo ambassador. I am 12 years old. I play the trumpet. I've been in Bravo Waterbury for 4 years. Something that brings the best out of me as a student is my ability to play the trumpet. Bravo is important to me because it makes me feel good about myself and know I can do anything I put my mind to. Bravo isn't just any other program. It's very special to me because the teachers at Bravo care about you and want you to be great in life. No matter what hard things comes your way, you can always count on Bravo. Thank you.
So to the Red Rhino Fund Grants Committee, I say thank you. For the last 5 years, we have worked tirelessly with hundreds of children in Waterbury to provide them with extraordinary opportunities, both musical and social, that could not happen without the support of grants like yours. Because of your support this upcoming year, our students will have the opportunity to travel to New York City, some of them for the first time, and experience a train ride, a visit to the museum, and a chance to breathe air in a different city. Additionally, we will be able to continue our summer residency experience with the prestigious Yale School of Music Moore Summer Academy. For our students, that is one of the most exciting trips of all. I'm a big dreamer, and I continue to instill the dream big mentality into our kids. Spending a day on campus like Yale changes their energy, gives them hope, inspires them to work a little harder, and reminds them how valuable they are to not only Waterbury, but society itself. I'm thoroughly impressed with the giving nature of Red Rhino and the Taft School. I've watched the growth over the last several years, not only in our students, but also in the Taft students who volunteer their time and spend it with students who thrive off of other people's energy. I should know, I'm completely tapped by the end of every single day of the year, including the days I don't see them. Again, we are grateful to be able to provide our incredibly brilliant, loving children with these opportunities, and we thank you, Red Rhino Fund, for helping see us through.
Okay, the next in line is Literacy Volunteers of Greater Waterbury. Literacy Volunteers of Greater Waterbury enriches lives by teaching English literacy skills to adults, building job readiness skills, and promoting family literacy was the commitment of trained volunteers, generous donors, and community partners. A $1,500 monetary gift from the Red Rhino Fund today will go towards the Waterbury Read program. Waterbury Reads program expands the walls of the library by providing free books to children in Waterbury's poorest neighborhoods.
1 in 300. There's probably 300 people in this room. Imagine there being one book for all of you. In urban communities, there are one book for every 300 children. It's incredibly unfortunate. Good morning, my name is Stephanie Cummings. I am a volunteer and member of the Board of Directors of Literacy Volunteers of Greater Waterbury. I am also a state representative, and I sit on the Board of Aldermen in Waterbury. When I started participating with Waterbury Reads, I was talking to a teacher who runs a summer literacy program for children who are behind in literacy. She told me a story that has always stayed with me. She told me about a 9-year-old boy who was assigned a book report for his school. When he turned in his book report, the book report was on 50 Shades of Grey, a 9-year-old. She said to him, "This is incredibly inappropriate. Why did you do your book report on 50 Shades of Grey?" And he looked her straight in the face and said, "Because I really wanted to do the assignment, and this was the only book in my house." With the gracious support of the Red Rhino Foundation, you'll be able to make a difference in the lives of so many children who want access to the books, but simply don't have it. The donation from the Red Rhino Foundation will provide 500 books to Waterbury Reads and will enrich the lives of at least 500 children, knowing that children often share their books with their friends and their families. Next week, we'll be unveiling our Waterbury Reads Storymobile, which will help us get books into children in more targeted communities. We're going to be able to actually get those books and drive right into the communities, and your gracious support will help us achieve those goals. Thank you.
And finally, Children's Community School. Children's Community School is a private, secular, nonprofit, 5th grade elementary school that has been providing a unique, high-quality education to underserved children in Waterbury for 48 years. Sorry. With an emphasis on both academics and character skill development. The Red Rhino Fund today will grant a gift of $1,750 that will go towards the school's technology upgrade. The upgrade will ensure that their students have the same opportunities to acquire the technological proficiency and academic resources recommended for their educational level.
Thank you. I'm Lynn Curlis from Children's Community School, and though we have not yet been in existence for 88 years, 48 years we plan to be. Children's Community School is an independent nonprofit school for children in pre-K through grade 5. Because we are an independent school, we do not receive state funding, so we must raise the money to pay our teachers and run our school every year. What that means is that we struggle. We struggle all of the time, and it is not easy for us to keep up to date with what is offered in the public schools and certainly more privileged schools like Taft. So we are trying to move into the digital age. We started with getting smart boards. Once we got the smart boards, we realized that our bandwidth was sufficient for a residential family of 4 instead of a school of 150. So we had to upgrade that as well. Our latest move is to get Chromebooks into the classroom so that students are able to work with the same classroom tools as their peers. This funding will help us buy more Chromebooks for our students. We thank you very much. I am forever amazed at what Taft students do in the community. You should be proud. Thank you.
Given that we operate under the definition of a legal fund, we maintain a set of bylaws that govern the board's activity. For example, these bylaws state that we must have 9 trustees. Therefore, given that there are currently 4 seniors on the board, we will be seeking 4 new trustees for the 2017-2018 academic year. Freshmen and sophomores are eligible to apply. We will release the written application tonight, which can be completed online. The entire board will then read these applications and select a few candidates for personal interviews. Following the interviews this year, the board will formally nominate 4 students to be trustees for the next academic year. Being a member of the Red Rhino Fund is a tremendous opportunity to learn about philanthropy and fund management. However, it also requires extreme time and dedication. Thus, we are seeking prospective trustees who are not only interested in accomplishing the board's mission, but who are also able to fully commit themselves. As I said before, the written application will be released today, and final decisions will be made after spring break. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask a current board member or any of our faculty advisors, and I look forward to beginning the application process in the coming weeks. Thank you.